Greetings, fellow nomads. D-Panics here. First off, let me say thank you for checking out my video. I am so glad to have you here. It's been a while since I've done a video, just been dealing with things, school, life, etc., etc. But I'm doing well. I hope your day is going well. Let's get into this video. Today's journey is into the world of Pearl Abyss's MMORPG Black Desert Online. Now, I know it's kind of weird that I'm talking about this, being that it's been out on PC for a while, but Xbox just recently had their open beta weekend, and I'm going to talk about my first impressions. So, let's begin. Right off the jump, we have the character creation system, which I have to say is amazing. Simply superb. And it's really no surprise being that before the game came to PC, they allowed you to download their customization aspect for character creation way before the game even released. So, yeah. I personally didn't sit here and record my entire customization footage just because the fact that it was more so along the lines of an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours that I was playing around with it, trying to get everything just right. And I think I did a pretty decent job. I did, however, wish that there were more braids or even dreads to use for the hair, being that, I did make my chicks more along the lines of, darker skinned, but the hairstyles that I chose were comparable, and I really don't have too much to complain about that. But I do have to complain about the tattoos. They were severely limited, and the body tattoos were just flat out hideous, honestly. I do, however, wish that we did have more classes to play, but I mean, the six that they gave us was a good variety, so I can't really complain too much about that. Now, if you've seen videos of BDO, you know that it's a very pretty game. And even on Xbox, it's a very pretty game. It's alive feeling, expansive. The lack of loading zones helps make everything feel cohesive and free-flowing. But sadly, there's still that pop-in that even plagues the PC, which can trigger some major lag, which at times causes my inputs to mess up. And, there's been a couple of times I got turned around or, ended up looking at something that I wasn't aiming for, but it's not really that big of a deal per se. Then, it was just like, I love looking at everything, but sometimes when it starts to lag, it kind of breaks the immersion. You know what I mean? Now, speaking of immersion, we have the lighting, which in Black Desert is quite nice. I did have to adjust it a bit because in some areas out during the daytime, which I believe was always day, it's extremely bright and led to having massive glares and if you were angled a certain way, which made things hard to see. But the lighting was superb in darker areas such as the caves, caverns, and inside houses. So that allowed you to see everything pretty good. The voice acting in this game is actually pretty solid too. I enjoyed the cutscenes, which are voiced, and they even have the NPCs that are not the main NPC voiced as well, which was surprising to me. Now, I mean, there is a bit of lag when they trigger, but that's probably because of the fact that the game isn't fully optimized for console yet. Plus, I mean, it's also a beta, so I mean, optimization is usually something that's worked on across the life of the game as things are added. So hopefully when it's released there will be some better optimization, possibly in a patch for like day one or shortly after the game is released, but we'll see. Now, another thing that Black Desert got right, aside from character customization, would be their skill animations, which do not disappoint in the slightest. I love going into the skill menu, scrolling down through my skills, hitting the X button, and seeing what the skills look like. This is helpful because just having the button inputs is cool, which they do a very good job of laying out all of the information you need to know for the skills, except for how much they technically cost, which I wish they did add. If they do have it on there, I'm, visibly blind and can't see that. But that was my only gripe with the system. But being able to go in and look at the skills, see what they look like, so that way I know how they are actually performed is really cool. My favorite thing of Black Desert Online honestly would have to be their waypoint system. And I say that because aside from having the map that shows the location that you're in, you have a visible line and arrow that's on the ground that you can follow, and then when you get to the NPC or even the targets that you're supposed to eliminate, it lets you know. If you gotta go see an NPC, a circle encompasses them. If you need to go after NPCs to attack, to harvest for, the kill quest missions, which most of the missions that you do in BDO for the entirety of your career in that game is kill missions, it shows a bar above their name that says target, which is really helpful. And I hope that they keep that system intact and don't change anything about it. Now, I'm going to talk about my biggest issue with the game, which would have to be the lag. Now, again, I know it's in a beta, I know it's still brand new to console, but the fact that enemies' HP bars do not reflect damage kind of is a hard thing to overlook, especially when you're fighting against a boss. Like you go against Red Nose, who is the first boss that you come across. You summon him, and on this slate pillar that you have to like run around to kill him, because if you stand there, he's gonna wreck your face. But you couldn't see his health bar go down; it just stayed full. So I literally spent 7 to 10 minutes running around shooting at him, hoping that he was actually taking adequate damage, because I couldn't tell how much damage I was doing or how much life he had left because the health bar stayed at full. This was definitely the most frustrating thing I encountered in the game throughout my time playing. Another thing that I had an issue with is kind of more so just a minor confusion, possibly on my part, but it was more so understanding who to talk to in order to complete missions. I mean, when you completed a mission, it would just tell me to view the quest log, but it would honestly just be easier if it automatically showed me the NPC we needed to talk to, whether that be the Black Shadow or a person in a town or nearby. So overall, I have to say I enjoyed playing the open beta for Black Desert Online. I wasn't as excited to play the beta, mainly because of the fact that I've played quite a bit on PC, but also because they didn't have the classes that I enjoyed playing on PC, but that's just a personal gripe. Hopefully upon release, the console version will be shortly behind the PC version, so we'll walk in with, the Striker, the Konuichi, the Musa, and possibly the Lan class, you know, shortly thereafter, being that I know that just came to PC, so I'm not expecting that to be right then and there on day one. But, we can just wait and see. So, in closing, I have to say Pearl Abyss did a rather decent job with the game. They do really need to optimize the game better for console, and honestly, if they fail to do so, I don't know how this game will fare with a lot of people. I know one of my friends, Derpy, he could not tolerate the optimization issues and just had to just remove the game off of his hard drive. So if there's a lot of people like him out there, I kind of was able to overlook it, but he kind of had a hard time doing so. So hopefully they'll get the optimization under control and definitely iron it out before it releases, but we'll wait and see. So once again, my name is DPanix, the Nomad. Thank you for watching. Always remember, stay peaceful, embrace chaos. I'm out.